Good morning, welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, Wednesday, March the 18th. We're here to look at the new releases that are published this week in the crime fiction and thrillers category. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you for watching. Elena says, good morning. How you doing, Elena? She says, I am good. I'll be continuing on The Intruder by Frida McFadden. And Amy says, good morning, PK and Elena. And Elena says, good morning to Amy. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's look. Now this one I have started. I love this series. I recommend this series if you like historical mysteries. This is a historical procedural, technically. 25th in the Inspector Ian Rutledge Mysteries. This is called A Day of Judgment. July 1921. England is suffering a heat wave, and the coast of Northumberland, just across the border from Scotland, is filled with holidaymakers, bird-watching, and enjoying the beaches. Pilgrims also come to visit the home of Saints Cuthbert and Aidan, the founders of Christianity in England, located on the holy island of Lindisfarne, accessible by a causeway at low tide. When the murdered body of a local man washes ashore just south of Lindisfarne, the government and the Church of England are concerned about protecting both the reputation of the church and the sacred sites that are destination for hundreds of pilgrims at this time of year. With his ability to move in the highest social and political circles, Rutledge is sent to Scotland by Scotland Yard to solve this crime and dispel any association with the church. Upon arrival, Rutledge finds himself pulled between two coastal fishing villages scarred by home front battles and coastal bombardment from the German Navy, where animosity towards Germany still runs high even years after the war. This, combined with a constabulary in the process of being consolidated to form a county-wide police force, with local militias still wielding a great deal of power, means Rutledge must tread with care. Facing a puzzling case and a cast of locals that don't take kindly to outsiders, the newly promoted Rutledge meets one of the most challenging cases of his career. To solve it, he'll have to confront his own demons left over from his time in the war. Very good series. And it's very good to see a new one. They were a writing team, a mother and son, and she passed away a couple years ago, and I didn't know if the series would continue, and I'm glad to see that he is continuing it. Bobby says, good morning. Well, good morning. Welcome in. Finlay Donovan Crosses the Line by L. Cosimano. This was one that we had started to look at last week when they slipped the publication date to this week. 6th in the Finlay Donovan series. Life hasn't been easy for Finlay Donovan lately, but it just got a whole lot harder. Her nanny and partner in crime, Vero, has been extradited from Virginia to Maryland, where she's facing criminal charges for a theft she swears she didn't commit. A prisoner to an ankle bracelet as she awaits her trial, Vero is forced to live with her overbearing mother and nosy aunt. Threatening messages keep arriving on her mother's door, demanding Vero turn over the money or else. If she doesn't figure out who really stole her former sorority's treasury funds, her next home might be a prison cell. Excuse me, but proving her innocence might be an impossible feat. Vero was the treasurer of her sorority when the money went missing, one of the only people who had access to the cash, and her alibi is a date who ghosted her. With her court date quickly approaching and her mysterious stalker on her tail, Vero needs to clear her name fast. Finlay decides a trip to Maryland is in order. After all, Vero stood by her through her darkest moments, and Finlay will be damned if she lets her best friend and children's nanny be convicted for something she didn't do. She sets off on a mission to suss out the real thief and bring Vero home. Sandra Brown has a new one. I did check. This is new, not a republication, as far as I can tell. Bloodlust by Sandra Brown. 2 years ago, Detective Mitch Haskell lost his wife to a vicious act of retribution and has since attributed her murder to two men, Roland Malone and the unidentified mastermind of the crime known only as Oz. Malone, a ruthless executioner and drug dealer who fronts as a restaurant owner, neutralizes so cleanly that he doesn't leave a trace, and he neutralizes. and he performs his handiwork at the biddings of Oz, the faceless kingpin of a drug trafficking operation whose name alone evokes terror. Obsessively vowing to avenge his late wife's murder, Mitch has been on a downward spiral, jeopardizing his closest friendships and drinking excessively to numb his pain. After going one step too far, Detective John Bowie, his former best friend and now his boss, has forced Mitch to get therapy to sort himself out. Dr. Dylan Reed is immediately empathetic to the pain she senses beneath Mitch's cavalier attitude and wisecracking. She's determined to make the most of his mandated sessions, but from the moment Mitch breezes into her office, Dylan finds it a struggle to maintain the professional and personal boundaries that keep her own tragic past at a safe distance. As Mitch begins to close in on Oz and Malone's operation, they're prepared to stop him by any means necessary, and when it's revealed that Dylan might hold the key to bringing them to justice, Mitch and Dylan's irresistible attraction to each other may not only compromise both of them professionally, but place them in Oz's bullseye. Good morning, Mary. I'm glad to see you safe. She says, good morning, Elena and Amy. Happy Wednesday. All is well here. Good. The storm kind of fizzled out the other day. Good. We did shelter in place once because we were in a tornado zone, but nothing came. Good. Good to hear. Thank you for sharing. Lots to do today. No daughter and son. Oh, in-law are coming. Oh, they are later today. Planning on making rolls, oatmeal cookies, Waldorf salad, and an entree. Wow. After that, not sure what I will serve. Holy moly. Bobby says, 1 month into writing my novel now. Good job, Bobby. Mary says, congrats. That is wonderful news. Hope it keeps going well. Absolutely. Well, Mary, I'm very glad you're safe. I was thinking about you. You know I do. Missing by E.A. Jackson. In August 1990, London is suffering through an unprecedented heat wave when baby Bella Carpenter is snatched through the open window of her hotel room. Detective Inspector Martha Allen is assigned the high-profile case, and knowing that it could make or break her career, is determined to find Bella. When a young woman named Mel Beatty walks into the police station with a baby who appears to be Bella, and whom Nell claims she found on a bench, it seems that the mystery is solved. Her family, the police, and the press are overjoyed at her return. But D.I. Allen isn't convinced. Something about Nell's story doesn't ring true. As much as she wants to continue, however, now that the baby is safe, she's ordered to close the investigation. 30 years later, Nell Beatty is found dead. Now a superintendent, Allen has never really gotten over her doubts about the Carpenter case and can't resist doing a little digging on her own time, eager to find out what happened to Nell and her involvement in the baby's disappearance all those years ago. But will her efforts uncover something darker than she could have ever imagined? And what is she risking as she tries once and for all to reveal the truth? End of that row. Not a whole lot today. The Plans I Have for You by Leigh Sanders. Shelley, whose life is over, a viral video cost her a spot at Columbia Law, her prestigious Manhattan law firm internship, and her hopes to build a better life for herself and her mother. Now Shelley is back in Kissimmee, Florida, working the night shift at a kitschy hotel near Disney World, the very same job she held in high school. Shelley's life is a black hole, while those who caused the incident that cost her everything have been free to happily move on with their lives. There are other options. But one night, the beautiful, enigmatic drinking game. Sophia Moon checks into Shelley's motel with her husband and young son. Sophia's appearance is far from random. She, too, has experienced a public shaming, and she proposes a plan to help Shelley get back what she deserves and an act of revenge on the 3 people responsible for the worst day of her life. That's not really healthy. Shelley returns with Sophia to New York with a new identity, new career, and new ambitions. Shelley ingratiates herself in her target's worlds until they begin to suffer one odd calamity after another. Soon Sophia's support turns to obsession as Shelley is forced to reckon with Sophia's dark and mysterious past and the chilling truth that Sophia's real plans are far beyond what Shelley ever imagined. There are other law schools, sweetie. Ava Glass has a new one. Mary asks, how much snow did we get? It is gone already. We got over a foot of snow over the weekend. And on Monday it was in the 40s. Yesterday we got to almost 70, so it's gone. And we're going to be in the 70s the rest of the week, which is weird. Yeah, it's gone. Amy said, congratulations, Bobby. Bobby says, thanks, guys. Mary says, thanks, Amy. Yes, we were very lucky. Didn't even lose electricity. Ooh, even better. Well, I'm glad you got to safety, though. You're being smart. The Hiding Season by Ava Glass. Now, this is an author who sparked my re-love of the spy books. I highly recommend her previous series. This is not a part of that series, which is kind of sad. It is set in Montana, though, which makes me nervous. After a painful divorce, Maya Landry is in desperate need of a fresh start, which she finds deep in the Rocky Mountains of Montana. Maya's relieved when she's hired as a summer keeper of a billionaire-owned ski lodges left empty after snow season ends, and her new life of peace and isolation is going exactly as she hoped, until she stumbles across a dead body on the living room floor of one of the lodges. There's no cell service on the resort. I don't think the rich and wealthy would be happy with that, though. And rich and wealthy, yeah, I haven't had enough coffee. And by the time she's able to find a signal and call the police, the body is gone. In fact, there's no evidence a body was there at all. The police think Maya is unstable, and she's not convinced they are wrong, but later that night, a stranger walks up to her and tells her that someone knows she was up in the mountains that day, someone willing to kill to keep their secrets. She's not sure whether to believe him until the killers come for her in the dead of night. Maya narrowly escapes, only to find the same mysterious man waiting to rush her away. But can she trust him? Can she trust anyone? Only one thing is certain. The people who committed the murder are coming for her. Maya is the only person alive who might reveal what happened on the mountain, and they want her gone, but nobody believes her, so why would they do this? Make it make sense. I love you, Ava Glass, but ooh, that's a pretty cover. All the Tea in China, second in the Orchid Hunters series by Timothy David Mack. Mary says, Bobby, are we allowed to ask what genre are you working on, or does that jinx it? If you don't want to share, no problem, no pressure. Bobby says, coffee. I am on my first cup. Exactly. We have a drinking game whenever they do the word enigmatic because we encountered it so much. Mary says, 24 here this morning. Wow, in Virginia and up to 44 today. You'll be warmer than we are. I say, it's bizarre. The Duke of Devonshire has given Major William Gunn one last chance to save his daughter's life. All William needs to do is the impossible. He must travel to China, where merely setting foot on shore is a death sentence for a European, then find a way to break into impenetrable Forbidden City and steal tea from the Dragon Throne itself. American frontiersman Nathaniel Bidwell would never let William face this perilous journey alone. He owes his friend a life debt, which he hopes to finally repay. So do me a favor, put yourself in jeopardy so I can save you. But just after glimpsing China's shores, their mission takes an unexpected turn, and they find themselves ensnared in a conspiracy to overthrow the emperor. Their only hope lies in finding an ancient treasure. Is that really the only hope? And in order to do so, they must form an uneasy alliance with the notorious and formidable pirate queen, Lin Mei. To recover the treasure, the unlikely trio must learn to work together to capture and sail the fastest ship on Earth, or risk being intercepted by their enemies' combined forces. With an entire civilization in the balance, William, Nate, and May must decide, are they in it for love, money, or all the tea in China? Title card. That sounds like a Garbagus book. I might have to keep that in mind. Deborah Webb has a new one. The 10-Year Lie. Oh, it's been previously published as Traceless, but it does include editorial revisions. We're giving it a moment and moving on. We only do new releases. To quote Doctor Who, new. York. These Dark Places by Hilary Taylor. Some secrets should stay buried. Her husband's won't. Della's life was everything she dreamed of: a loving husband, a teenage daughter, and a peaceful cottage in the woods with her own pottery studio. But then her husband, Leo, collapses and on his deathbed makes a devastating confession that turns Della's world upside down. Consumed by grief, Della finds the ancient woodland that once sheltered her now feels threatening. The only solace comes from her new neighbor, Carrie, whose kindness gives Della a fragile sense of hope. We don't trust it. As Della digs deeper into her husband's hidden life, shocking discoveries emerge about Leo and the life Della thought she knew, and even about Carrie herself. Is her neighbor truly a friend, or is she hiding the most dangerous secret of all? Yeah. Bobby says it's a murder mystery set in Montana. Sorry. Well, my only issue with books set in Montana is they never get it right. I'm sure every state says that. Amy says, it's 50 here with 81 today. I have a space heater. Wow. Yeah, I think we're starting 40s or 50s, but we are supposed to get almost to 80 today. A Place to Die For by A.M. Strong and Sonia Sargent. Jordan and her fiancé Sam can hardly believe their luck when they are accepted into the Glendale, an exclusive Boston co-op dripping in historic turn-of-the-century splendor. Still reeling from a devastating personal loss, the couple hopes their new digs will let them heal the past and build a brighter future, but Jordan's joy soon turns to unease. Spending long hours alone while her fiancé is at work, she starts to suspect that all is not right with the Glendale. There is the empty apartment on the ground floor that nobody wants to talk about, and the unnerving sensation that she is being watched. The haunting cries of a baby, even though there are none in the building, don't help either. Leave. I would leave. As the relationship falters and Sam grows ever more distant, Jordan comes to a terrifying conclusion. The Glendale won't let her go, at least not alive. ... And our last one. The Next Woman by Carolyn Corcoran. Lily knows every inch of Aurora Island. She came here to disappear. Hidden away a mile off the mainland, it's a paradise of beautiful beaches and picture postcard villages, the perfect place to reinvent yourself, to keep secrets buried. But this summer, women are vanishing in a chilling alphabetical pattern. First Alice, then Becky, then Corinne. Each disappearance more mysterious than the last, leaving no trace behind. As panic builds on the island, a hit true crime podcast seizes on the story. Its magnetic host, Ross, arrives with questions, charm, and an agenda no one can quite pin down. For Lily, each new disappearance brings her letter closer. And on Aurora, where some come to hide and others vanish without a trace, time is running out, one woman at a time. ... That's when you go change your name. That's all we have. So, some interesting ones. Not a lot. That's okay. Bobby says, I'm doing my research. All right. Well, appreciate that. All right, that is all we have. So on Friday morning, we'll look at the rest of the cozy mysteries that were published this week. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Saturday afternoon. Amy says that was a short list, but they do sound good. They do. Some were very interesting. And one I already bought, so. Alrighty, well, everybody, have a good Wednesday. Be safe, be warm or cool, depending on where you're at in the weird weather pattern going on. Read good books, as always, and always remember, if you're not being pulled into that story, it's okay to pause it. It's okay to set it aside. It's just not the right time for you, the book, and that author to come together. Doesn't mean it's a bad book, doesn't mean it's a bad author, doesn't mean that you're bad. It's just not the right time, so Go on to something else. You can always come back. I give you permission. Amy says, yes, have a good day, everyone. Back at you, baby. Alrighty, well, I gotta go get the mail, go to work on invoices, put out fires, etc., etc. Mary says, thanks so much. Hope everyone has a great day. You too. Stay safe. And I think that's about it. So, as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.